The Wild Witches, written and illustrated by Morgan Snyder, dedicated to Hank, Sarai, and Quinn. Introducing Amanda, Sophie, Violet, the TFW, the TEW, and Miss Meatball. Hi, I'm Amanda, and I live in an orphanage in Washington, D.C. Let me tell you about a time when I met real witches. One night, I was eager to get a glass of water because Miss Meatball fed us lots of nasty meatloaf for dinner. It was super salty, so I was extremely thirsty. Miss Meatball would never let me get a glass of water, so this time I got up out of my bed on my tiptoe. Miss Meatball still heard me from her room downstairs. She yelled and ran up the stairs. Amanda, go back to bed this instant. I just could not sleep. I was still so thirsty from that salty meatloaf. My window was open and the wind was coming in. I heard something, like the sound of my bed moving up and down. I took off my covers and I saw a tiny person sitting on my arm. She had brown hair and was wearing a dress and a nice little hat. Suddenly, she said, I am the TFW. What does that mean? I asked. It is short for the Tiny Friendly Witch, she told me. I could not believe my eyes. This was crazy. She took me out of my bed and out the window. Miss Meatball looked at me as she ran up the stairs again. Oh my flippin' lizards, said Miss Meatball right before she fainted on top of a 7-year-old boy. The TFW took me to a small forest with little birdhouses in the trees. I saw more tiny witches flying around me. The TFW told me that those witches were stolen too, and they were once children. How are they all witches if they used to be regular children just like me? I asked. They drank something called music aid. It's like lemonade, but when you drink it, it makes music and notes float around you, and then you become a tiny witch. It was not. Little by little, I began to shrink, smaller and smaller. I was able to zap a tree down now, but I was not nearly as powerful as the TFW. While the TFW was out getting some donuts, the rest of us witches were playing hide-and-go-seek outside. When we started looking for a new game to play, we heard someone scream. A little girl named Sophie and I ran over to another girl named Violet. We did not say a word as we all looked up at the TEW. Who is that? I asked Sophie and Violet. It is the TEW. That's the TFW's number one enemy, she told me. We all ran, but the TEW picked us up with her powers. Where do you think you're going? She said as she, in a horrific voice. She put us on top of a treehouse roof and started putting dynamite all around us. Meanwhile, the TFW finally got home and was looking for us. We heard her calling our names. So we screamed to her. The TFW and the TEW had a tiny witch war. The TEW lost and the TFW saved us. Instead of blowing up into tiny pieces, we blew up the TEW and went home to our little tree houses. When we got there, I asked if the TFW was adopting me, Sophie, Violet, and she said yes. I most certainly am. As for me, when I grew up, I wrote stories and told people about my amazing adventures with real witches. Some people thought that this was not true, so I put fiction on the cover. Want to see it? Well, it's in your hands. You've just finished reading it.